guys, today we're looking at Embracing Loved, Cherish Spring. Now, this time I did something a little different. This time I actually put the names of the characters up because this one's just a little bit different. This anime is really good. It's got great characters, great animation. It looks very realistic, like very real. And our two characters are actually adult film actors, which means they do adult movies and, you know, things of that nature. What's interesting about this is it has actually several books to it. Now, the books were extremely long and they only did 2 OVAs to this, but that's not what gets complicated here. What gets complicated is when you read the books, it has 14 volumes and 89 chapters. That's a lot when you think of it. Now, the first OVA follows the first book. Now, it gets complicated, and we'll talk about the second OVA in a minute, next time I do a review. And I'll explain why it's complicated. Because, unfortunately, like a lot of my yaois, I had watched the movie before reading the book. So a lot of these characters, like that's their boss talking, who is a bit of a cross-dresser at times. You get to hear his story and why he does what he does. He used to be a police detective, but after talking to one particular suspect, he realized who he really was and what he wanted to be. And, you know, he kind of lost all contact with his folks and everything. So each character in this manga series has their own story. There are more characters than just our 2 that we're going to be focusing on, and it's a really good anime to get into. If you read the books, they're more in depth of why everybody is a certain way, the way they are. But obviously they can't do that with an anime, so I'm kind of glad they only did 2 of these. And I'll probably be talking about that tomorrow. And I have made the decision I am going to do a practice run with sensitive pornography, so that's probably one you guys were going to be looking forward to. That one also has good anime, not as realistic as this one. And the drama in this one is really good because our one character with the black hair, who we're going to be seeing in a moment, he takes his job serious, but unfortunately, he also doesn't really open up to his friend. And his friend, who is the blonde one, he's a little younger, and he actually, from time to time, tries to actually physically do things to him instead of their acting. And there is a scene that's going to be coming up, guys. I'm not going to cut it because I want you guys to actually see what goes on. The scene that's going to be coming up is actually going to be them. He's remembering when they met and the first time that they were actually doing a scene, and they're supposed to be acting in this one. And what's really interesting is that he did perform with women in the manga. He did it like one time with a woman. And so it was really his first time also doing it with another man, which I found interesting. As I said before, when you read the mangas, it does get more in depth, and the drama is heavy. We're talking about, is this guy cheating on me? You know, all the cliches are there, the cheating, the mysterious stuff going on, and it's really good. I might put at one point in time, if I get enough requests, I'll actually put the links to these sites that I go to read these books. I'm still reading one. I haven't finished it because I'm just so dedicated to you guys and bringing you all this great anime. Like I've done before, I'm not going to do an entire video on this because it is a long movie, but it's really good. And I actually own both. I own both OVAs to this. They both go by the same title, so it's kind of hard to figure out what's what. And unless you've read them, like when I read the mangas, everything in the second OVA to me made perfect sense. And that one, I'm going to try to explain a little more in depth than this one. This one's just the kind of get to know everybody and, you know, a little drama here and there. And, you know, among actors, especially with these two, I find it very interesting that how serious they get with each other, but yet they wind up living together. And at the end of the books, at the end of the mangas, they wind up getting married. They wind up getting married and still doing their jobs of being adult film actors. And yeah, I'm going to say again, guys, sorry, there's no subtitling. I had this on my iPod, and I was just like, nope, I don't want no one to know what's going on. Nobody needs to know. So, yeah, guys, I'm sorry there's no subtitling, so you guys can't really see what they're talking about. But it's heavy. It's always heavy between these two. But you can feel one definitely cares for the other one more, and the other one's just not really all there, you know? Because, you know, I'm going to say this coming from our one with the black hair. You know, sometimes being gay is not an easy thing. Sometimes you got to come to terms with yourself. But what he's really half the time coming to terms with is just his work in general. You know, why he does what he does, and just coming to terms that this guy is not going to give up, that he does care for him. He wants to be with him. He wants to do stuff. And I'm just going to say this from a girl's point of view. The kissing scenes in this movie are really electric. I mean, I don't know who did all this animation, but they did a really good job. I mean, it feels like a real life movie. It doesn't feel like an anime to me. I feel like I'm watching a movie. I mean, that couch looks like real leather. It sounds like real leather. If I didn't have my sound off, you could hear the leather of when he moves. You can hear it. So, I mean, they really took their time and to figure out how each thing should sound. And yeah, guys, I am going to cut some stuff because, you know, I can't fit everything into the video. And there are some things that just get a little spicy. So I'm going to cut some stuff, not everything, though. It's not as bad as some of the other ones that I've seen and how I got tongue-tied. And some of the other ones that I've owned. They're not as bad. What else can I say about this anime? The voice actors. Great voice actors. The voices both fit the characters very well. Sorry, I had a long day at work, guys. Sorry. I've never gotten tongue-tied like this before. It's actually kind of funny. The voice actors fit the characters very well. And like I said in my sexual harassment, they give the guys decent body portions. They don't make them too fat. They don't make them too skinny. They make them just right. And as I said before, and I'll say it again, that's why I like a lot of the yaoi and the yoi films and books. They proportion their characters just right to where they look real. And, you know, I find myself more invested in these yaoi films than I do in hentai. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I did see hentai when I was like 16, 17 years old. I saw it and I liked it at first. But when I started seeing yaoi, I started thinking, wait a minute, this stuff's a little more interesting because they just look more realistic. And that's when I started getting more invested. And some people call me the yaoi king, that, I've got books, I've got movies. That's all all I talk about, all I'm focused on as far as my anime goes, and in my music videos, as some of you have may seen. And yeah, that is the truth here, because like most animes, some people like yaoi and some people like hentai, but the problem is that yaoi is not really appreciated as much. And I feel that if some people give it a chance, they'll wind up seeing that they do like it. But unlike hentai, they do cut some things, so you kind of do have to use your imagination a little bit. And it's all depending on, who directed it and who was in charge of it. Because obviously, my sexual harassment, sensitive pornography and Legend of the Blue Wolves were two that really pushed the envelope. I mean, they really pushed the envelope of what they were going to be showing. And I like that. I like it when you all can push the envelope and say, no, I'm going to do this. I don't care. And that's, again, why I love a lot of these yaois. And they have such great color, great backgrounds, and really good characters. And they dress like average guys. They don't dress in wild outfits unless they're like doing a movie or doing, like a scene or something. They dress average. And I like that. I don't like a lot of these. I like interesting outfits. Don't get me wrong. I love Growl's outfit. I love Growl's outfit. And I love Growl's hair. And I love his teeth and his eyes. But when you look at these yaois and you look at the men, they look average. Like our one guy, he has blonde hair and he has gold eyes, which is unusual, but for him it fits. And the one with his partner or his friend, he's got black hair and blue eyes. So I find that very interesting. And the other thing I'm going to say in this one, because I'm going to mention it, they had an issue. They were giving a promotion where their boss was saying that he wanted to try something new. He had an idea for a new film, and he wanted to try having 4 partners trade off with separate partners. Now, guys, come on. That's not going to work. That when you see your girlfriend or your boyfriend in the arms of somebody else, the feathers are going to fly. And that's exactly what happens. But here's my issue, is that when they're doing this, the boy, I'm assuming he's 18. Just like with Aizawa, he's 18, but he's soft-spoken, very beautiful to look at. But he looks too closely to our one guy. He almost looks like he could be the son or the cousin. It kind of creeped me out just a little bit, but I overlooked that because those two were the only ones that were actually trying to go through with it. The other two actually were stopped doing what they were doing. I don't even think they even got started, to tell you the truth. And they're looking at these two, and obviously it didn't go through. And that's another thing I love, is that when an anime is willing to show a realistic scene, like saying, hey, this is the realistic situation, this is what I want done, and they do it, and they pull it off really nice. And, this one too, I gotta say, the backgrounds are really good, and I'm gonna say this like I said in No Money, why are the pillows that big? You do not need them that big. I've never seen pillows that big. But, that's all I gotta say, guys. Anyway, this is Jahia Moondragon, and I will see you in the next anime. Bye-bye!